talk to you for about 15 minutes on a topic that I'm personally passionate about, but I also believe will contribute to your success in not only college, but in life. I wasn't necessarily the type of student or child that you would look to and say, she's going to be a president someday. I was raised by parents who were low income. My mother was a waitress and my father was a bartender. And when I was 8 years old, we were evicted from my apartment and my parents separated and we went to live with my grandparents. As a child, I had fantasies of growing up to be the first woman to play Major League Baseball, and I was good. But in reality, I just wanted to live a better life than my parents. What did that mean? For me, it meant having reliable transportation, being able to afford the rent, and being able to go to college because my father dropped out in high school and my mother had some college but no degree. I was an average student. In fact, when we transferred school districts when we moved, I actually tested below average in a couple of subjects. But if you ask me what the difference was in how I was able to become a better student in high school, go on to go to college and graduate college, and then work my way up to become president of this great institution, I would tell you simply one thing: mindset. This is my superpower. You see, I had a belief that no matter how many obstacles were in my way, or how many times I failed at something, that I had the ability to continue to learn from my mistakes, to treat the learning process as a journey, and ultimately grow from those experiences. Dr. Carol Dweck is a Stanford professor and researcher, and she studied thousands of students to understand how students responded to challenges. And what she found was that students had two types of beliefs: fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The fixed mindset is a little bit like your eye color. You're born with brown eyes, you're going to die with brown eyes. There's nothing that you do inherently to change that. But a growth mindset, in contrast, is a little bit like a muscle. If you want to change the composition of your muscle, you can work out, you can change your diet. You have the ability to affect changing the composition of that muscle. And when you look at a fixed and a growth mindset, fixed mindset really focuses on a belief that your talents and abilities are limited. You're born with certain things, and that's it. You don't have any ability to change it. But a growth mindset is a belief that you have the ability to affect the circumstances that you experience in your life, and that you have some element of control in changing them. When you look at the mindset of someone with a fixed or a growth mindset, it really is pretty substantial in how people process the world. With a growth mindset, when you're frustrated, you persevere through something. A fixed mindset would say, I give up. A growth mindset, when you fail, you're focusing on the fact that you're learning something. But with a fixed mindset, you look at it, internalize it, that you're no good. And if you focus on a growth mindset, your effort and your attitude determine everything. But with a fixed mindset, your abilities determine everything. And so there's a pretty significant difference in how people process the world. So I want to give you a couple of examples of people with a growth mindset. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Who am I talking about? Michael Jordan. Very good. He was fired from a newspaper for not having enough imagination and lacking original ideas. Walt Disney, very good. She was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't a good enough fit for television. Oprah, very good. He was fired from the company he founded. Steve Jobs. He wasn't able to speak until he was about 4 years old. His teachers said he would never amount to much. Einstein, very good. So what does your story say about you? My guess is, regardless of what your definition of success is, you would think that all those people are successful. Yet, they have all had opportunities where people gave them feedback that wasn't positive, that didn't believe in them. You know, Michael Jordan wasn't inherently talented. He worked hard at that. So every single person there received times when they felt like they weren't good enough. So why did they go on to be successful? They went on to be successful because they had a growth mindset, that they looked at those situations as challenges and opportunities to get better, and they didn't let external feedback drive how they behaved. They said they had a belief of something that they wanted to do, and they didn't let someone saying that they weren't good enough determine whether they were going to continue or not. So I want to have you just do a quick group activity, and I'm going to ask you to turn to your neighbor, introduce yourself, and then I want you to take these fixed mindset statements, and I want you to turn them into a growth mindset statement. What would you say instead of what is on the slide? So take a minute to introduce yourself to your neighbor, meet someone new. There are a lot of different responses. Here are a couple of things. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, just sort of asking, well, what am I missing? This is too hard. Instead, thinking, this is going to take some time and effort. Or, plan A didn't work out. Okay, so what's plan B, or C, or D? Not everything happens on the first shot. My guess is that you're here because you want to continue to change, you want to continue to grow. I doubt you're here because you want to stay the same. Which means there are going to be times in your educational experience where you were challenged. And that's a good thing. How you respond in those moments has a lot to do with whether you have a fixed or a growth mindset. We want you to go into this educational experience with a growth mindset, because in order for you to grow, you need to be pushed, you need to be challenged. You're going to take courses that bring you out of your comfort zone. And on the whole, I expect that you're going to have a very positive experience here. But part of that experience is also growing and learning. And we have all these people with blue shirts on today, and a whole college of other people around campus, our faculty and our staff, that are here to help ensure your success. And so when things do get tough, I want you to remember that there's a whole college here ready to support you. And it's just a matter of reaching out and asking for some assistance. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to just see you today at new student orientation in your first day. I want to shake your hand as you walk across the stage at commencement. So in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful experience. I know we've got a great orientation lined up for you, and I look forward to starting the semester with you. Thank you.